Hello and welcome to our OPA monthly conference call. Thank you for taking the time and joining us on this call. First of all, I would like to thank Rob Loomis for his leadership and for the amazing work he does in helping support our team. Pretty impressive, the report he sent out for 2020 for the OPA organization. And I'd like to congratulate everybody for the amazing growth that they had in their business in 2020. So I'd also like to thank the OPA masters, my friends, for the constant support in my Shackley business. So for those of you that are new or don't know me yet, I'll just give you a quick introduction. Then I'm going to welcome our special guest speaker for today. And then I will wrap up the call and we'll see if anybody has questions or comments. There are going to be a couple of minutes that you can ask or share. So my name is Shifra Lefkowitz and I'm Shackley Master Coordinator. And I'm excited for our topic today, building leadership in your organization in 21. For those of you that don't know me, I joined Shackley in 1991. And in June of 1991, two things happened. I became a mother. I had my first little baby. And I resigned from my teaching job. I was a teacher for a couple of years. I love teaching, but because of my baby, they wouldn't give me a raise, the school, so it wouldn't pay to teach. So I gave up my job. I didn't know back then that Shackley would provide the answer to both of those things. First of all, I had an amazing health success story with my baby. We'll leave that for another time. But the part that I love teaching, and I had to give up that job. Once I joined the Shackley business, I wasn't in business. I was teaching. I continued my teaching profession. And this became my life's mission, to teach and empower women to self-care because they deserve to live a healthier and better life. And with that, they can choose what they want. If they want to improve their health, they want to take care of themselves, they want to build a financial future, they want to contribute to the family income, they want to do it as a hobby, they want to build a Shackley business for long term. And this is my life's mission, and this makes me jump out of bed in the morning, because who can I help today? Which women can I empower today to do something that they don't believe they can really accomplish in any area of their life? I am especially grateful after all these months of uncertainty in many areas of our life. I will declare a special thanks to God and to Shackley for the gift that Shackley provides. And that is, number one, Shackley provides a way of life. Every person gets challenged. Even if you have a Shackley business, it doesn't mean that you won't have challenges in your life if it's your health. And there's no way of getting around God's challenges. But we have a gift. We have the Shackley products that can provide a better life. We have a place to turn to. We have supplements to take to help us overcome it. And this gift is very valuable. And then at the other hand, the Shaklee opportunity. Many people lost their livelihoods. I've had the privilege to be able to continue to work my Shaklee business and get paid every month, and even find more opportunity because people need what we have, the product and the business. So I made a decision that I cannot be fearful or selfish. I need to share this with more people and with more confidence and with more passion. So I'd like to encourage you to think about this. If you had a great year in 2020, good for you. Continue that momentum in sharing this gift. But if you didn't, and if you keep thinking like, can I still do this? Or is Shaklee the right business? Or can I grow it? Or any of the fears that are in your way, I want to encourage you, and I want to read you a quote. You are always one choice away from changing your life. Write this down. I'm going to repeat it again because you can think of it through our whole talk this evening. You are always one choice away from changing your life. You have the ability to give hope to people that don't believe that there's still hope for them. You have the proof that Shaklee is here and it's strong because you are a Shaklee business entrepreneur and you've benefited from the Shaklee income somewhat. We need to share this gift with others. And I want to encourage you, 21 is the year where you can make changes and you can do things you never thought you can do. And you could put your fear aside and you could do the first thing. Make a decision that you're going to do something different. This year, you're going to be bold and you're not going to be afraid to share the gift and worry what the results will be. Create yourself your strong why and your vision of how you can impact people. What is your mission? What gets you excited? And believe that you can achieve it. Because you could, if you're not worried about the outcome. If you're just committed to your mission, to your vision, and to your why, and to the decision you made. I want to share with you a quick story about making a decision and working towards that goal. But the important part is to enjoy the journey, because there will be bumps and it won't always be easy. But then you know that you're doing the right thing. You're doing something that's important and meaningful. So it goes back probably almost 13, 14 years ago when my oldest son was in high school. And this high school had a program that you studied, they studied the Talmud, but they studied all year one specific book, one specific Talmud, and they had to know it from cover to cover. And this was a year's project. And at the end of the year, there was an event where all the parents were invited, all the teachers and the principals were there, and all the students. And the principals and the teachers questioned the boys about the information that they studied, and they had to respond in public. So the pressure was on. They clearly understood the goal. They clearly understood what they needed to do. And they clearly understood that when they get to that event, they're going to need to show up. And they worked hard and they worked tirelessly. And I can tell you that much. The last 6 weeks was heavy. They were up late at night and woke up early in the morning studying all the information that they needed to know. And then came the big day. We traveled 2.5 hours to the campus to be a part of this momentous occasion where we can be there while our son was part of this testing. And then there would be celebration for the success of the project. It was pin drop silent in the room. Everybody was nervous as the principal and the teachers questioned the students. I'm never going to forget. I could still feel my heart racing and worrying for my son. Is he going to perform? Is he going to know what needs to be, what he needs to answer, or, you know, or will I be embarrassed, or so on? But these boys were prepared. They clearly knew what they needed to do. And then it passed, and it was a success, and we were proud. And they had a beautiful meal with music and stuff set up to celebrate this occasion. But you know what the main point was? The principals got up to speak. And he said a very profound thing. He said, what is this celebration? Why are we celebrating? So the test passed with success. But that's not the celebration. The celebration is the hard work of 12 months that you put in, and the effort and the understanding of the goal. This is the celebration, the journey. And this is what I want to kind of empower you with tonight. The celebration of achieving the success is going to be about the journey, about what you're going to do every single day when you have your Shaklee hours and you commit to the phone calls, the invites, the events, the conference calls. It's not about the goal. The goal is the thing that you're going towards. And that's what the boys knew. They had to finish this goal. But it was about the work every single day that they grew, and they had the development of understanding what it takes to achieve things in life. So remember this while our guest speaker talks, because it's about the journey. It's about the things you're going to do every single day that's going to make a difference. So tonight we have a very special guest speaker. She is new master coordinator, Julia Venestra, and she has been so gracious to share her precious time with us, to give us some insight about the journey and the goal. Julia is a mom of 5, and she loves the opportunity that she has to homeschool her 3 little ones. She's a wife to a tall, handsome farmer and a grandma to a spunky little girl. Wow, she doesn't look like a grandma. I began my journey, she says, in Shaklee in 1997 for health reasons, and was a hard no to doing the business. But life changes and situations change, and my mind began to change, mainly because I loved what I was using and the results I was getting, so I decided to pass it on. Looking back, I would make the same decision again, but with a lot more enthusiasm. The level of health is one blessing, but the quality of life we could live was another. I've enjoyed almost 20 all expense paid trips with Shackley, car payments, and a flexible work schedule with a full-time income. And now I feel like it's never been more relevant. So thank you, Julia, for joining us, and welcome to the OPA family. We're looking forward to hear from you.
Thank you very much for that, Shifra. I appreciate that. I'm just going to share my screen. Make sure I share the proper PowerPoint here. And I appreciate everybody's willingness to listen to my story. I love sharing the story. It's very, I would say, near and dear to my heart, because I really think it encourages people. I always say to people, it's not that I want to talk about me. I don't want people to hear me. I'm not bragging about myself or anything, but I want people to hear my story is hope, because I really think that, that my story is one that offers hope to people who don't really feel like they have a lot to begin with. So my name is Julie Veenstra, and my story with Shackley began in 1997. And when I was born, I already had health challenges. So my medical file was getting really thick. And around 1997, my mom was told that I was at a high risk for having bowel cancer, by the time I was 25. And I had a lot of digestive issues, a lot of hormonal issues, just so many different things going on. And my mom finally said, okay, you know what? Enough is enough. We need to look for answers. And my mom did a lot of research. We were doing a lot of different health products. We kind of stumbled upon Shackley. My mom heard a lady speaking in a church basement. And so we stumbled upon it, and it was an absolute blessing, because it became the thing that put my health back on track. So when it was just a missing piece of the puzzle for us, for my health. So we fell in love with the products, the philosophy of the company. Now, the problem was, at that time in 1997, I was not in a stable marriage. It was not a good marriage. And we had a lot of debt, and I didn't have enough money to be able to afford the things that I actually wanted to use from Shackley. I needed them for my health, but I couldn't afford them. And so my upline, Martha Wilmore, she explained to me that there's a business opportunity. And I just said, absolutely not. I was not interested. I did not want to do this business opportunity at all. I didn't feel like I emotionally could do it. I didn't believe in myself. I didn't want to put myself out there. I loved helping people, but I didn't want to do something in this industry. I said no. Now, the thing is, I did love the products, and I loved the results that I was getting. And so I did start sharing with a few people just because I wanted to help them. Well, the funny thing is, that was me doing the business. And I didn't really realize it at the time. And so I was sharing with people. And again, I just feel like this is an absolute blessing, because 2002, I became a single mom. And because I just loved helping people, I had a car from the company. I earned a car a few months prior to becoming a single mom. I had enough income that I actually could pay for a mortgage on our own home. And I was able to provide for myself and my son. So I just think that we should always, never prejudge people, always share with everybody the opportunity that Shackley has for us, because it was the best plan B that I never knew that I needed. So it helped me finish off some things, but it helped me start again. It helped me finish off university. It helped me purchase our first home. It's given me a lot of options. And these are things that I would not have had at all if I had stayed. I was doing hairdressing. I was going through psychology, wanted to be a social worker, but then I used to work a lot of nights, and you start with low pay. And there was all these different things I really wanted to do. But it was just remarkable with Shackley. I was able to accomplish all the things that even more than I even dreamed that I'd be able to do. So it was, again, the best plan B that I never knew that I needed. Now, at this point, I loved the products. I loved the company and their philosophy. And I was really falling in love with a flexible lifestyle and the paycheck that I was getting and all the opportunities and different trips. And that was really wonderful. But I still wasn't believing in myself as a leader. And this is where this is a really wonderful personal development business that we are involved in. And I loved the fact that I could work hard. And I had no problem giving up weekends and doing events. I would work long hours. I would share with people. And then because I did all of that, I was able to go off and do mission trips, which was another thing I was really passionate about. So I can go to Haiti and go to Dominican. I was doing different mission trips. And I loved doing that. But I wasn't sharing the opportunity with other people. That was still a roadblock for me. And so I just want to share with people how important it is to always share the full picture of Shaklee with everybody, because I was not duplicating my success as fast as I could have. I was helping a lot of people, and I had some business leaders that were starting, but I wasn't giving people the full picture of who Shaklee was. And that wasn't fair on my part. I really had to learn, first of all, how to be a better leader and how to share boldly and proudly about one of Shaklee's one of their best products is their business, their opportunity. And so I was an executive coordinator with Shaklee, and I have been traveling a lot with them. I went to Chairman's Retreat, got to lay on a lot of beaches, a few cruises, excellent adventures. And finally, at this point, I finally started really believing in the business opportunity and in sharing it with other people. Now, I hope everybody else believes in this from day one and shares it boldly from day one. And you don't take as long as I did, but it took me a little while to really believe in myself and to embrace the fact that Shaklee encouraged you to be a leader. And so here's a few of the other trips I was able to be on. I was in Africa on the Kenya safari, and in Paris, that was just a fabulous trip. And there I was standing on the Great Wall of China. And as I stood there on the Great Wall of China, without my luggage, by the way, that showed up 5 days later. But as I'm standing there on the Great Wall of China, it hit me so hard. You're standing there and you're looking at this incredible wall. And it looks impossible. It was so big. And all of a sudden, I could hear my mom's voice. And she was saying, whenever I would say to her, Mom, I think it's impossible. I don't think I can do this. She always said to me, everything is impossible unless you try. It's only possible if you try. So she's one of the reasons why I have so much grit and why I keep pushing, because she always said, you're never going to succeed if you don't even try. So I looked at this wall and I thought, you know what, this might look impossible, but they didn't build the whole wall at once. It was one brick at a time. It was one brick brought up at a time, and it may have looked completely impossible. So when you're just starting and you look at the numbers that you need to be a master coordinator, you might think, well, that's just impossible. It is impossible if you go into it with that attitude, but it's not impossible if you're willing to make one phone call at a time, one reach out at a time. It is not impossible if you consistently do the actions, you consistently put in those bricks in place. And then it is amazing at what you can build. So this is my family now, and I'm very blessed to be able to homeschool I call them my three littles, and I homeschool them and just love the fact that I can have a flexible lifestyle and really pour into my kids, because I love to be able to do that, and still earning a six-figure income from home. So I think it's just a huge blessing. And you see on the bottom there, that's actually my oldest son. That's my little sidekick who was always here with me as I was growing this business and growing up in this business. And that's also a picture of my little cute grandbaby there. So it's just a real blessing again to be able to have a flexible lifestyle, to enjoy all these wonderful people. Now, one of the things that this business has also given to us is, again, more options. And we've been able to take the income that we have from Shackley and invest that into rental incomes and in different places. And so it's far and above beyond what we ever would have expected, but it's been a huge blessing to our family. So I always say to people, live each day and live it very well. And you can change your story, but only if you take the steps to do so. So that's the segment of the story that I like to share, just to walk into how important it is to know who you are and how important it is to stick to who you are. So now, if there's one thing that 2020 has taught us, it is that things are extremely unpredictable. We cannot control a lot of things. We can't control time, but we can control what we do with our time. We can't control people, but we can control our response to people. And we can also control if we light up a room by going into it or if we light it up by going out. We can control that. We can't control the weather, but we can choose to dance in the rain. We can't control everything about what we are, like our height or our natural talent, or we can't control that. But we can control who we are. And just a little tip, a lot of effort, if you have effort and you couple that with persistence, that will beat talent almost 100% of the time. So it's not about who you're born as, it is about who you live as. And that's a lesson that I'm very glad that I was able to learn while growing up in Shackley. So I used to start my goals with what I wanted to be. I wanted to be master coordinator, but it's not until we determine who we want to be that we can actually grow into the what. So belief is a part of that. You need to believe in who you are to become the what that you want to be. So determine your who to get to your what. So the next part I want to talk about is just a little about sticking to the person that you want to be. Know your who and stick to it. So enthusiasm, we might know a lot of people who get into the Shackley business, they're all enthusiastic and they have this great, why and this great 90-day plan, and they're all enthusiastic about it. So enthusiasm can be very common. Unfortunately, endurance is quite rare. So you may have heard Bill Firth say that leaders will do that one more thing, that one more call, that one more minute, just that one more thing. That's what sets entrepreneurs apart, successful entrepreneurs apart from everybody else, because entrepreneurs will stay 5 minutes more. And Jeff Hill, he often says that we have to be focused on the long view. And we're very easily preoccupied with the short view and behave as if that determines our long view. So we need to live with a long view and focus and let that give perspective to our short view. So I always say we need to flip our vision around, and that will actually help you with endurance. Or if you're a visual person, I would suggest that you look at life with binoculars and not magnifying glasses. And I would have to say that early on in my Shackley career, I was looking at life with magnifying glasses and seeing all the reasons why I couldn't do it or why maybe it wouldn't work. But when you start looking at it with binoculars and you see the long vision and the possibilities, it is amazing what that can do for your endurance. So let's dive here into the concept of grit very quickly. So if anyone has read the book from Angela Duckworth called Grit, then you'll understand what I'm talking about here. If you haven't, I highly recommend this book to read. So grit is about holding the same top-level goal for a long time and being willing to adjust or remove the low-level goals. And all of your low and your mid-level goals have to support and align to that top goal. So how many unintentional, or maybe they're even intentional if you're trying to procrastinate, but how many unintentional distractions are you allowing to interfere with your progress to your top goal? Now, we will do that when we aren't secure in our who. We will feel silly about a post. We will procrastinate because it's not perfect and, oh dear, what will people think? And all of us, I believe all of us struggle with that one. We will allow the little red light stories or those lies to become a truth. And those lies can be about maybe we feel like we're not good enough, or we're not smart enough, or we're not pretty enough, or we're not good enough at sales. And I love it when people say they're not good at sales, because I just say, well, that's awesome, because I'm not about sales. We're all about solutions. So we're not about sales, we're about solutions. So they can get rid of that lie right away. So my top goals are to be a mom that encourages her kids to grow into who they have been created to be, and to instill persistence, encourage grit, and an understanding of their purpose. So that's my top goal as a mom. So you have to know who you want to be, and all the other goals will align up into that one. My two top goals, one is to be a mom, but also what kind of mom. The other is to be a Shaklee leader. But what kind of Shaklee leader? I want to be a leader that encourages others to grow into who they have been created to be, and to encourage persistence and grit, and an understanding that they have value and purpose. I want everyone to understand that they have a purpose. So this slide just kind of gives a little diagram again of the top goals, the mid-level goals. But I like to add to that on the top and the bottom, to live life by principles and preference. And I just love that concept. The principles are your guideposts. They're the non-negotiables about how you're going to live, who you're going to be. And so those are your non-negotiables that are going to guide every single decision in your life. Or you can choose to live by preference, which fits more with the lower level goals. And it's the things that make you feel good. It's the things that might distract you. It's the things that are easier, fly by the seat of your pants way of doing your business. You know, if you don't like doing something, it's too hard, then you'll stop because it doesn't feel good. That's living life by preference. And if you're living life by preference, you will never hit your top goal. So it's very important to remember to live your life with your guideposts in mind. Now, this just gives a little bit more example as to what those top level, mid, and low level goals are. So low level goals are things like if you have a healthy habits tracker. So we're doing a wellness challenge right now, and we're often talking about doing healthy habits like washing your face twice, and getting 30 minutes of exercise in a day, and journaling, and doing personal development. So healthy habits, those are things like taking your strip and your shake every day. So these are low-level goals that will support you in your mid-level goals. And those might be things that are like being focused and sponsoring your 2-in-1 monthly. These are actions that are more closely related to the top goal and will help you achieve that top level goal, which is whatever your top level goal is, whoever you have determined that you're going to be. And I really love this message, especially for the year 2021, because I feel like we have to be very clear on who we want to be and not let anybody else steal that from us. Because your circumstances do not have to determine who you are. They can accentuate who you are. How you respond to your circumstances will show your level of grit. It will show your level of character. So don't let what's going on around you determine who you're going to be. You determine that. So the other thing I want to really share is just in 2021, again, I really feel like more people need our home-based solutions for health and energy, immunity, and especially for income. So we've said this many times before, but it's perhaps never been as relevant. People are weary. They are burnt out. They are scared. They might say no at first to us offering them our business because they don't understand who we are and what we're about. And they might not understand that they do have the ability to do this. So I encourage you to walk alongside people, do relationship deposits, and it doesn't always have to be about Shaklee. Just add value to people's lives. And when you are going to chat with them, you can say, I'd love to chat with you about something, but first, how are you doing? Right? So don't bombard them. Be upfront, be honest, say, I'd love to chat with you about something, but first, hey, how are you doing? Don't do this for what they can do for you. Do this for what you can do for them. In 2021, it is the year, it's definitely the year to be the light in other people's lives. So I'm just going to finish with, I encourage you all to go with God with a boatload of grit and a lot of grace.
Wow, Julia, that is amazing. You have an amazing story and you're so inspirational. We really appreciate you sharing. But can I ask you for some more clarity?
Absolutely.
Okay. So would you give us an example of the top level goal and how lower level goals distract you and how you can get back on track?
Okay. So lower level goals, it's kind of like your daily things. So you know how sometimes, I don't know if any of the moms here will relate to this, but sometimes you're on your way to, say, fold laundry. And that's your goal right then, is getting the laundry done. And then as you're on your way to do that, you notice, oh, there's, something out of place on that cupboard or whatever. So you go over there to put it in place. And then you realize there's papers that are sitting that shouldn't be sitting there. So you start tidying up the papers. And then you're like, oh, here's a toy that belongs over there. And you bring the toy over there. And so on your way to do one goal, all of a sudden you're distracted and you're just organizing and doing all these other great things, but they weren't the goal that you're heading towards doing. So those are kind of like the unintentional distractions, if that makes sense. So you had one goal in mind, one thing that you really wanted to do, or we'll make it into a Shackley business. So you wanted to call one person. So your lower level goal was you're going to call this one person. But you didn't really want to do that. So you get distracted by playing on Facebook or something else, right? So those are the distractions that take you away from the goals that you should be doing. So the low level goals, if I look at my day, it's homeschool the kids from like 7 to 10. Or 7 to 10:30, like homeschool. So that's one of those low level goals. That's going to happen. Do my strip and my shake. That's a low level goal. And I have certain low level goals that don't move. And nothing is going to distract me from those low level goals. And it's kind of like my routine, my daily routine. And that's it. The next level up is a little bit more like, where do those goals lead? So I want to, I have monthly goals. I want to hit 2 and 1, right? I want to hit certain PB goals. I want to hit certain business leader breakout goals. Those are more like my mid-level goals. And then my top goal is, well, I want to be a senior master. So that's my top goal. But what kind of senior master do I want to be, right? So it's not just what do I want to be, it's also who. And so I'm very clear on the who. And when you're clear on the who, that kind of guides all the other actions. Because I want to be a person of intent, well, then I will intentionally follow through with all these other things. I want to be a person of integrity. That will play out in all of my other things as well. So does that help? Reading the book really helps, I would say. But
that helps a lot, because who is Julia as a senior master, and this what the senior master Julia would be doing now, right? Like that's the kind of concept, right?
yeah,
So whatever the goal is, if you're going for key coordinator, if you're going for senior key, for master or beyond, like if I'm a master coordinator, what would I be doing today? Would I be doing this activity that I'm doing now, or no? Wow, this is not what's going to help me to who I am or to where I want to go. Correct?
Yes. And actually, I can give you one other quick example. There's a story in the book of a baseball pitcher. I can't remember his name, but he wanted to be the best pitcher in the league and the most strikeouts and whatever. So that was his goal. And so that impacted even how he would shake hands with somebody. He would shake hands not with his pitching or with his whatever throwing hand, he would shake with his other hand. All of his actions tied into that top goal. And so if you want to be a master coordinator, you need to live it, basically, right? So all of your actions kind of lead into helping you mentally approach and become that person.
Wow, very clear. Thank you for that explanation. And it's amazing. I took a lot of notes of everything that you said, and And it's so true because it is the time to really evaluate, like, who are you and where do you want to go? And you used the example of a mom. And sometimes I think, like, what will my children say about me when they'll say my mom? So, who is it you want to be, and what is it you want people to say about you? Not because I'm worried what they're going to say, but because we need to be a role model for our team and for the people that we surround. So we need to actually do the actions and be the right example, for the team. So you're so on target, and you are really such an inspiration. I love your clarity. It's like homeschooling or the jobs as a mom, those are not negotiable, but there's so much time still available if you know what direction you're going in. So, talk to the busy moms. They have time to do the things other people probably don't, because we know what's important, and we know where we're going, and then we can get to places and accomplish things. Does anybody have a question or a comment for Julia? You could unmute yourself.
Hi, Julia. This is Hannah. I just want to tell you, first of all, welcome to the Master Ranks. And secondly, you have done a beautiful demonstration of the beautiful person you are and how you have used that for your personal development and also for your growth in your business. And thank you for being so specific and being able to share so many good ideas with us tonight.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Thank you, Hannah.
And Julie, this is Alan. Hannah beat me to the punch. I'm her chauffeur. And I just want to say that you'll be really a hit when you speak at the Masters meeting, because you just put away tonight. Excellent presentation, and with such truth and emotion in it. Continued
Thank
success.
you.
Senior Master is on the horizon.
Thank you very much. I hope that we can all meet together in a great big room someday soon. I was honestly really sad to not be able to do the Black Tie Masters thing. That was very, I was very sad, because one of the big reasons why I wanted to be a master was so I could join Martha and Ivan Wilmore and Bill and Nancy First and Diane Whitmore. I wanted to join them at their Masters event before it was too late. So I'm just praying that that we will get that chance.
You will.
Julie, this is Ray Madoran. Great job tonight. Great story. You tell it so well. What a journey that you had. One of the things that you'll have to look forward to is the dinner at Sloan and Rogers' house. I don't know when you'll be able to do that, but that's one of the things that you'll remember for the rest of your life. It's really, really a neat experience to do that. Barbara and I absolutely loved our time when we were doing that as well. I think one of the things that really, I didn't maybe hear the words "you're thinking," but I know that you were talking about how you think about things as well, and it's so important that you think like a master coordinator even before you become a master coordinator, because if you don't think like a master coordinator, you probably never will get there. So you have to tell yourself, even if you're an executive, even if you're a coordinator, I'm going to be a master coordinator. I am a master coordinator in my thinking. And I heard that in your talk tonight. I didn't hear the thinking part so much, but I heard a lot of that. And I love your journey. I thought it was just outstanding. Thanks for being here tonight.
Thank you for having me. I love sharing this, so thank you.
Hi, this is Rob Loomis. I just want to thank Shifra for bringing you into the OPA family, if only temporarily. We wish you were a permanent member, but we'll settle for a guest membership. And we look forward to seeing you, as Ray said, at the next Masters meeting, whether that's in a global conference or a Masters Summit, whenever it'll be. I predict that it will definitely be within the next 12 months. Sooner, I hope.
I want to just mention something too about Shifra. Not only is she a beautiful lady and a beautiful leader and a great leader, but do you notice what a great storyteller she is? I mean, I hang on everything that she says. I love to hear your talks. Thanks, Shifra.
I agree.
You're welcome. And yes, thank you, Julia, for your sharing your journey. And I'm so inspired. And I feel like Julia, like we have very similar personalities as how we talk and how we share, and we think similarly. And some of the things we need to do are, that sometimes we have to go out of our comfort zone, and that's why we keep saying this. We want to be bold. We want to share this gift because sometimes it's not so comfortable to just pick up the phone and call somebody that might tell you something interesting. But I think it was really encouraging and say, by saying, it doesn't matter what they say, it doesn't matter what their response is, but we're going to share boldly and we're going to make a difference. So I just want to wrap up the call with a very powerful quote, and take to heart what was shared tonight, because this year could be your year. Roger was so gracious by extending the 2020 incentive with another $1,000, $21K in 2021. This incentive is very, very, very gracious and generous, and can help a lot of people in their financial situation. It can make a real difference. So we as leaders have the power to share this rank advancement bonuses with people and explain to them. Now in January, you can look at every distributor, every leader on your list, and help them figure out, reach out to them and tell them, you have $9,000 on the table if you grow to coordinator and senior coordinator, because you do 5,000 and you have a director under you that does 2,500. And if you promote one more leader and do a cumulative of 10,000, you can earn $9,000 in the next couple of months. For someone else, it might be executive. For someone, it could be senior director. For someone key, 21K. They will have to do work, but if they missed the call tonight, tell them to watch Julia's presentation. It's going to give them encouragement to take that next step and to understand who they are. Because this incentive is really worthwhile, and it could give light at the end of the tunnel for many people, let alone they'll build their business and have that kind of income every single month. This is just the extras. So think about this. If you knew you will succeed, what would your goal be? And give hope to people. Because if you knew you would succeed, what would your goal really be? This might help you raise the bar for you to believe that you can reach greater heights and that you can empower other people to do so as well. So thank you for listening. Thank you for joining us tonight. Good luck in your Shackley business. And thank you, Julia, again for giving of your time. And see you again next time. Good night.
All right.
Bye-bye.
Good night. Excellent.
You.